In early 1995, the students of this institution did something never done before. The Waikato Student Union spent $25,000 on a piece of paper, the rights to a television frequency for 20 years. In 1996, the purchase of that frequency evolved into this country's first ever student TV station, Static TV. By 1997 though, Static lay dormant, failed within a year of its first broadcast. But why? The story began in March 96 with Adam Hyde managing the station through its maiden broadcasts. When Adam Hyde resigned as manager in mid-1996, Rowan Marks, already producing programs for Static, stepped in. He says student politics deprived Static of the funding that it needed.
They apportioned $20,000 to Static for the operations of Static in '96, and then the executive overturned that, saying it was too much, and then they decided on $3,000.
Just $3,000 to produce, edit and broadcast material weekly for a year. Just $3,000 to launch into a multi-million-dollar industry. Waikato Student Union President Rick Marshall was Vice President in 1996. He defends the union's decisions.
Well, the trouble was really that WSU had $750,000, which is a lot of money. The executive of the year in '95 decided to allocate $3,000 for 1996 in the budget, and the executive of '96 had to work off the budget that we received from the previous year, so there wasn't any other money available. We only had $3,000 for Static.
But Rowan Marks says that the money was there.
I don't know where that would have come from.
The student union say that they didn't have any more money for the station. What do you say to that?
Yeah, and I see that's crap. That's crap. They always said their hands were tied. I know for a fact they had money that could have been apportioned to Static. They said you can't get any more money, your hands are tied, you've only got $3,000, and then they went and set the budget for '97, which was $3,000. So, what's the difference?
Rowan Marks doesn't really know a lot about television. He hasn't had a lot of experience in television.
Michael Bain was a volunteer film student working on Static transmissions. He's also worked for Coast to Coast, Trackside and TVNZ. Do you think that the student union wanted Static to go down?
It's an interesting question because what happened was the people that actually purchased the frequency left at the end of the year, and then the incoming student union were left with, I guess you could call, a white elephant, something that they didn't really know what to do with. They were willing to give it a go, but they could see that it wasn't working, and I think they just wanted to wash their hands of it.
So strong was Mark's commitment to the struggling station, he began to sink personal income into the project. Did you use any of your personal income for Static?
Yeah, I used quite a bit of it. I would say that probably about $3,000 of my own personal income was sunk into Static. Plus all the revenue that I gained off advertising, I never claimed a commission or anything off that as well.
Rowan Marks says he lost a lot of money through his involvement with Static. Do you know anything about that?
Well, as far as I know, he was basically unemployed and was probably getting the dole, so whether he put any money into it from that, I don't know, but I know that he was using his dad's camera and was trying to get everything on a shoestring budget.
Rowan, I think, has misunderstood the way that we have operated. I know he has some disputes with WSU over money that he believes he is owed, but we were not in a position to pay anybody towards the end of last year, and basically because we weren't earning any income, and Static had overspent effectively. The cost of the transmitter, the cost of editing had been in excess. There was no money in the bank.
What advice would you give to anyone trying to set up a station in the future?
Don't. No, I don't know. Make sure you've done all your facts before you start it up. Make sure you've done your budget. Make sure you know exactly what all the costs are, even the hidden costs, because it's like any other venture. You've really got to do your research before you start it up.
So, as Waikato University moves towards optional union membership for its students, Static television will have to find new partners and commercial viability to survive. One thing is certain, there's still enough enthusiasm amongst both staff and students to see static appear on our screens once more.